Jessamine Colbin's hands were all that was holding this city together. With her dead, this city was a fast disintegrating web of guardsmen, overseers, nobles, weepers. Maybe this was the world the outsider was trying to show me all along. For years, I'd held together a shadowy band of ex-mercenaries, street kids, and refugees through discipline and a bit of black magic. On the fringes of a city that ate up innocence and weakness. Maybe today was the end of that small world. I thought of Jessamine Colbin's hands shuddering as she lost her grip on life. Whatever doom was coming, I deserved it. My people didn't.
Hey there everyone, welcome back to the third and final mission of the Knife of Dunwall DLC. So I'm not really going to buy much for this, just going to grab one more mana potion and then be on my way.
Daud, we've been attacked. Overseers are tearing the place apart. Looking for you. They're holding our remaining men, and their leader is in your chambers as we speak. If we take him out and free our men, we can still drive the Overseers back.
I want to know how the bastards found us in the first place.
So there's a pretty big stockpile of supplies here. I did a good job managing supply usage just because I mostly avoided taking people out, so I didn't pick all that much up. I will say about this mission, by far the most annoying mission that I have played in the entirety of the Dishonored series. Like, oh my god, this mission is the bane of a low chaos playthrough. And sort of an explanation for that. So mostly in low chaos, I tend to avoid people. Yeah, I'll take out 1 or 2 or 3 guys, but I like to just avoid confrontation. It's the easiest way to play low chaos. It's the most effective way to play low chaos. Well, this mission kind of just says, you know what, fuck you. You are gonna have to confront some people, because otherwise it's gonna be really, really difficult and really, really time consuming, and the average human being is just not gonna have the patience for it. To which I say, thank you, Dishonored. Thank you so much. So, you'll see what I mean as we get further into this. But basically, the Overseers have taken over Daud's base. Daud is going, well, what the hell? How did they find us? We were supposed to be hidden. What's going on? Well, Daud, those are all good questions, and that is why we're heading over here to this room, where the Overseers have a sort of base of operations so we can get a better idea of what's going on. So, I decided to bypass these two guys. I knew that they were both going to turn around at some point, and it was just a matter of waiting. I got really lucky. They both turned around at exactly the same time, and I was able to blink right on past them and go down here and take a look at the plans.
This map shows a coordinated sweep of the flooded district, but the Overseers here didn't stick to the plan. Someone must have tipped them off.
Alright, so now that I know what the Overseers' plan was, I have to now go and rescue, I believe, 4 of my assassins? Yes, who have been captured by Overseers. And at the same time, I also need to take out the head Overseer, Overseer Hume, who coordinated this strike. Now at this point, I suppose I should explain why I was claiming this mission is so difficult for a mostly non-confrontation low chaos playthrough. So these 4 assassins that have been kidnapped and are being held by the Overseers, it's not that hard to free them, honestly. Because if you shoot a few bolts or you make some noise, the Overseers will walk away, and the assassins, you can untie their binds and they'll go away. The problem is, their animation for leaving is so incredibly long that there is a ridiculously high chance for the Overseers to turn around and see them leaving, because they literally take a fucking age. It's like, guys, this is a pretty dire situation. Could you maybe hustle things up and, I don't know, run away? So basically, I ended up having to take out most of these guys just because every time I tried to just distract them and then free the assassins, one of them would inevitably see one of these guys, and it was just, it was taking too long, and I just wasn't patient enough. So, you know what? I had a ton of supplies, and I figured might as well use them. I'll just take most of these guys out and hope for the best. So it was pretty easy to dispatch these 3. First assassin is free, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna move these bodies, and I basically just started the pile of Overseer bodies, which will grow substantially before this particular mission is over. So, yeah, mostly my issue is, oh, the assassins take for fucking ever to move, and then they get seen, and then you get detected, and then they get killed, and it's just a whole shit show that happens. Well, that's not the only issue with this mission. Believe it or not. I will take the time, though, to show that bone charm I picked up. Might as well grab it for HP. So, there is one more notable issue with this mission that will severely impact a low chaos playthrough. Overseer Hume is in Daud's office, and we're familiar with this particular layout because we went through this as Corvo in the original game. So Hume is in Daud's office talking to a music box overseer. That overseer will stand next to him and have a prolonged conversation, and then when the conversation is done, he's supposed to leave and go and walk around and patrol the premises. There is a bug with this DLC. I don't know if it happens every time, but it sure happens most of the time, and it hasn't been addressed, where if you do not take out the guards that patrol this particular hallway, that music box overseer will not move. He will end his conversation with Hume, and instead of patrolling, he will just stand there for literally eternity. He's stuck there. He will not move. And it is ridiculous. So basically that meant that I had to take out every single overseer that was patrolling this hallway. So this run was definitely not the cleanest run, but that's just because I didn't really have a choice in the matter. If I wanted to be able to dispatch Hume and get away unseen, I had to do some cleanup first, and it was time consuming and slightly annoying because I knew that if the bug had ever been addressed, I wouldn't have to deal with this, but you know what, it is what it is. You know, there's always that one mission that you know, someone's gonna hate on, and this is the mission that I happen to particularly dislike. So as you can see, I mean, it's not exactly hard to dispatch these guys. We're going through them pretty fast. I wasn't really sure how many I needed to take out in order to trigger that overseer to move his ass, so I opted on the side of pretty much everyone. So I'm going to take one more guy out, and then I'm going to go ahead and take care of Hume. At this point I was choking people out as opposed to sleep darting them, just because I figured if I don't need to use a sleep dart, I might as well not use one, because I still have to rescue 3 other assassins at this point, and I figured I would probably have to use my sleep darts for those scenarios. So by now I'm going, okay, that's most of them, surely this will trigger the conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. This was after I'd already tried to trigger the conversation at multiple points, because I kept taking some guards out and then checking, and then taking some more guards out and then checking. And it was just, oh gosh, it was just annoying as all heck. But you know, what can you do? Bugs, they happen in every game. So I just kind of have to make do. So as you can see, there's the conversation I'm talking about. It's this very prolonged conversation. And I'm just kind of waiting because I can't do anything about Hume until that music box overseer ends the conversation and keeps moving. But I'm trying to get a better idea of where people are in the room when I realize, oh shit, there's a dude up there and he will probably see me. So I should maybe consider taking care of him and, you know, not pressing the wrong buttons. So at this point, I didn't want to have to go all the way back, so I was like, I'm going to leave him here. It's lazy, I know it's lazy, he's probably going to be found, and by probably I mean definitely. But I just couldn't be bothered at this point. I'd already taken out, like, what, 6 guards, 7 guards, ridiculous amount of people. So I just really couldn't be bothered. So I make my way back over here, because at this point, as you can see, the music box overseer in the distance has finally moved, and I'm going, thank God, I can finally take care of Hume. Don't you dare. Don't you dare go up those stairs. Don't you dare, you motherfucker. He went up the stairs. So of course I'm going, oh my God, he's gonna see the body. It's laying right there. I don't have time to move it. I planned this horribly. I shouldn't have been lazy. So I try to move him, and naturally he starts detecting me, and I'm like, you know what? Just take a nap, you can hang out here with your friend. You are the root of this problem, and I don't like you, so you know what? You're just gonna lay there and your buddies are gonna find you and it's gonna be humiliating for you. So finally, at this point, I'm like, okay, I can take care of Hume. Thank goodness. Took me long enough. There's only, what, 2 other guards that are patrolling? Yeah, I think there's only 2 other guards that are patrolling on this floor. So, I mean, maybe I should have taken care of the other 2 just so that they wouldn't find the 2 bodies up there, but I was getting impatient. I wanted to just keep moving on because, honestly, I knew this wasn't the hardest part of the mission. I knew the hardest part of the mission was going to be rescuing the other 3 assassins, and I just wanted to keep moving, so I decided to just move on ahead to where Hume is. So it's pretty easy to take out, he just kind of stands there. Not very tough for an overseer. And right about at this point, I believe the guards in the room found the bodies. And they were like, hey, wake up, guys. And I was just like, good thing that I left. There you go, see the little subtitle. They totally found the bodies. So, you know what? I couldn't be bothered. Whatever. Congrats, guys, you found them. But you won't find me. So I ended up placing Hume right here, since I was pretty sure that if the Overseer saw Hume, it would count as Daud being detected. And I didn't want to mess with it. So for these guys, I end up luring them away. Because this is one of the sections where you actually can free the assassin fairly easily without taking these guys out, which is what I decided to do, but I did need to lure them away with some bolts, specifically that music box overseer. The other ones aren't a really big issue, but the music box ones tend to hang out closer to the prisoners, which means they're more likely to see you. So I figure, okay, music box overseer is way far away, these guys aren't looking, I can free him. And this is what I mean by the long animation, like, he's still there. It's like, just move, man. Alright, so he finally did escape, so I have 2 more assassins that I need to free. The third one is actually down at ground level, so I decided to blink on down. I don't really care about health at this point because I'm not going to be fighting anyone, so who cares about that? Just be aware when you are at this ground level, there are a lot of assassins on the right-hand side coming up here, kind of on like the, almost like a bridge system that Daud's assassins built, and they can see for a long distance. So when you're taking out these guards here that are guarding this assassin, there's a good chance someone will see you, so just be aware and be careful. Luckily, there's only 2 guys that are guarding this assassin. I take out the music box overseer first because he's pretty annoying, and I decided to just sleep dart that guy. I probably could have blinked past him, but he was at full alert, so I figured it was safer. And then I did decide to move these guys a little bit further away in the hopes that the overseers patrolling in the section up ahead wouldn't see them. I don't know if it made a difference. I'm assuming it didn't. But I felt better about it. Of course, I couldn't find this guy. He was laying right there in the mud. I would feel bad, but you kind of attacked my base and killed a bunch of my people, so I don't feel bad about it at all. Alright, so the final assassin, probably the worst, because he's in a very contained area, with not a whole lot of shadow, and also with a music box overseer that just refused to cooperate. So my initial plan was to lure them away, so that I could just free him and be done with it, but the one guy with the music box, he did not feel like moving, so I opted to take them out. I did have to be careful because these guys were on high alert, which meant if I poked my head over, since it's so bright in this area, they would definitely see me, so I waited for them to kind of walk out past the boundary of the ledge so that I could go ahead and sleep dart them.
Give yourself up. Come out. We both
As you see, he's looking right at me. He's got a pretty good idea of where I'm at, so I didn't want to poke my head over because I was too nervous he would see me. So, that's the 4th and final assassin free. I just left these guys here. I was like, nobody's going to be in this area. No one's going to see him. And of quite frankly, I don't want to look at them because I'm annoyed because I spent, gosh, how long did I spend? Like 10 minutes trying to distract them and them not really moving and me being like, alright, if that's how you want to play, then that's how you want to play. So it's pretty simple, getting to this final rendezvous point. There are a ton of guards that patrol this area, so you just kind of have to take a minute, figure out what their patrol is like, and then move accordingly. Alright, so there he goes. So I'm gonna blink right up behind him and then very rapidly blink higher up so that these guards on the lower level don't see me. And like I said, it's a matter of figuring out the patrol pathing and also just getting lucky, which I happen to get extremely lucky here.
Give the word, sir. What's our next move?
Capture as many as you can. Their plans are ruined.
So obviously I chose to capture the rest of the Overseers instead of killing them because, well, that would kind of ruin my clean hands run. And then I was like, oh look, I can show off my bone charm. I took a drink, I'm healed, it's a miracle. And then I needed to have a conversation with Billy.
Give me a report.
We'll take the Overseer who led the attack and find out what else he knows. As soon as he's conscious. It seems the Overseers are marching into the flooded district, planning a massive assault against us. This Overseer Hume went against orders and attacked early. Our men, the ones you freed, were able to rout the remaining zealots. This place belongs to us again.
How did the cursed Overseers find us?
It's my fault. I told Delilah where we were hidden. She wanted me to turn on you.
You did this.
But I can't go through with it.
Stupid child. All you had to do was cut his throat.
He deserves better. I was an idiot to listen to you.
So that's your choice then, Daud. Her betrayal would have been the sweetest. But either way, the Brigmore Witches will be your end. You should have forgotten my name the day you heard it.
I think it was always understood between us that I'd see my moment and take your place. I moved too early. You weren't weak, like I thought. I'm only sorry I didn't pick a better ally. Delilah made contact with the Overseers. I thought, between the three of us, we'd have you dead to rights.
We can blame the Zealots for that. Overseer Hume was too quick to move.
My life is yours now. Kill me, or let me live. If it even matters to you.
Touching and pathetic. If I see either of you again, I'll tear out your stone-cold hearts and walk in your skin.
I forgive you. Get out of here. Leave the city. Leave my sight, Billy. I give you your life.
Like there was even a question of whether or not we were going to spare Billy. You made one mistake, Billy. I think I can let it slide.
When Billy Lurk was 8, she wanted to be the captain of a ship. From the moment she met you, all she wanted was to be a killer. She watched you, learned from you, and then she saw you losing your grip and decided to take your place. And now, she's limping to the outskirts of the city. She'll pay a smuggler to get past quarantine. She'll watch herself for signs of plague for a while. Gradually, the fear and grief that seep into your bones in Dunwall will dissipate, and she'll find a new name and a new use for her skills. Even if Dunwall burns to the ground, one corner of the Empire will still know your story. Daud, killer of an empress. Daud, who spared his betrayer's life.
Alright, so there you have it. That is the Knife of Dunwall DLC, completed without killing anyone and without ever being detected, and only using Tier 1 Blink as a power. So, this isn't quite the end of my Dishonored 1 playthrough because there is a follow-up DLC to this one called the Brigmore Witches, and I will be planning on releasing those very soon. The playstyle will be similar. I will be going for a clean hands ghost playthrough, and I will also only be using tier 1 Blink, so I'm sure I will regret that, but for the time being, that's what I'm planning on, and that's what I'm sticking with. As always, thanks so much for watching, and keep an eye out for the Brigmore Witches episodes.